Somewhere in here there's a mute button. There it is. Stop the music. There we go. Good morning, party people. Hi, how's it going this morning? I see Cabarini is in from Brazil. Good morning. So it's a Sunday morning, 5 a.m. Of course, traditionally, I usually try to, good morning, Azafaza. I try to stream before my wife. I don't try to stream, but I usually just work before my wife gets up on weekends. My wife is usually up around 9, and like my favorite coffee shop opens around 8 a.m. downstairs. I might try to hit, there's another coffee shop I've been meaning to hit that actually opens earlier. I used to go to, hey, good morning, D-Tuve. It's usually try and use for all before COVID-19, before that whole coronavirus thing hit. I would go to the same exact Starbucks every morning. I would walk over there. It's like a 2-3 block walk from my apartment. Now walk over 2-3 blocks, go to Starbucks, see the same people every morning, and I always like seeing the same kind of friendly faces whenever I get started working. It kind of makes it feel like I'm going into an office if I go walk over somewhere and go get coffee and all that. Good morning, Chandima. But I haven't done that since COVID-19 because for a while that Starbucks was closed, so I couldn't go over there. And now they're back open again. And it was really funny. I went over a few days ago, and they were so excited because we haven't seen each other for months. And you don't know if everybody made it okay, if anybody passed away due to the disease. So it was a very nice homecoming kind of moment there. So I need to go back there because I kind of got out of that habit. I want to at least go back over there every now and then, go see how things are doing. So this morning before I go over there, so that's 5:30. So that coffee shop actually opens in about half an hour. I'm not going to just stream for half an hour and then bail, but I want to fix one issue in SP Blitz Index. Sukvir says, is that a Razor shirt? No, it's Isle of Man. Isle of Man, Nirav says the below link is not working. I don't know what the below link means, so that's cool. The Isle of Man, their country logo is this, I think it's called the Triskelion. It's 3 legs, and the way that it kind of came about was, any way you throw me, I will stand. Like they're undefeatable, they can't be stopped. And I want to say it was originally taken from Sicily. It was somewhere in Italy that they took it from, that there was a relative involved with all that. So this morning, I want to go fix a bug in SP Blitz Index that has been out there for, I don't know, like a year now. I woke up this morning and I was like, I know exactly how to fix that. It's really funny how that works, isn't it? Like you walk away from something and you come in and exactly, the Isle of Man TT. A bug that I was totally like, I've had in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this is going to suck to fix, and I really don't want to go and fix it, but I really need to fix it. The bug is, there's a bug in SQL Server. There's a bug in SQL Server that ignores isolation level requests. If you say no lock, I want to go get something from a system table and I no lock, I don't want to get involved in any locking, like with SP Blitz Index, I need to go get lists of indexes, for example, that exist. I don't want to block anybody else, and I don't care if I get incorrect data. I just want to dart in and dart back out. Good morning, Jim. Good to see you again. So unfortunately, this DMV doesn't honor no-lock requests. It doesn't matter if it's set isolation level read uncommitted, whatever. I'll show you what the DMV is. You'll see what the bug is. And for the longest time, I thought, oh man, I don't want to have to fix this because when I fix it, I'm going to have to first go in and check to see if anyone has locks on that. And then if they do, I'm going to skip past this query. Well, I didn't want to do that because I'm just not good at that kind of thing. Good morning, Emmanuel. My soothing dulcet tones. I didn't want to have to go detect locks in a system table. I'm just not that kind of guy. I don't have that level of skills. But I woke up this morning and I'm like, I know exactly how I can work around it. There's a way that you can set, good morning, Peter, good to see you. There's a way you can set a lock timeout in SQL Server. I forget about this because I never use it, and I don't know why I was dreaming about it and that made me think of that. But I was like, oh, you know what? I'll set a lock timeout for just like 1 second, and if I don't get the lock that I need after 1 second, I'll bail. Now, here's the thing, though. I've never actually done this before. I've never used that command for anything. So we're going to try to use it and see if it does what we want it to. And then if it does, we'll try to figure out how to work it into SP Blitz Index. Fingers crossed, we'll see. So first I'm going to show you the problem, and then we'll see if lock timeout will fix it, and if it does, we'll go get that into SP Blitz Index. Big money, no whammies. So let's start by taking a look over in the first responder kit. So here's the GitHub repo that's got all the bugs. We're working down. I would like to point out that we're down to just 9 bugs, 9 requests for enhancement or whatever. Some of them are feature requests. And I'll probably do the top one today just because it's super easy. Somebody wants oh, good morning, Jedi Mind Gorilla. And welcome to the club, Uber Zoned. Oh, that's kind of a cool name. I like that. So in here, the one that's been out for quite a while, it's down here. SP Blitz Index is blocked by index rebuilds on an identity column due to a bug in that DMV. The DMV doesn't honor no lock requests. And I've opened up a Pitbull Proton. Dang, that's kind of a cool name too. Wow, y'all are all getting creative with the names. So I've even filed this as a bug with Microsoft. I've got a link inside here. I reported the bug to Microsoft. Here's how it, here's how you reproduce it. And they haven't given me any notice at all. They just don't care, which seems to be usually the case whenever I report bugs. They're like, yeah, it's like you and 2 other people who really care about this. So I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. So let's go fix it, or let's go show you how the bug displays itself. Good morning, Merca. And we'll go paste this in. And I'm going to, Surly, good to see you this morning. So I'm going to go create a couple of windows here, left and right. And then I'm going to run the query that I want. Copy and over here and paste. So over on the left-hand side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go create a table. And then I'm going to say, go start rebuilding this index. But I'm doing something that normally you would never go do. I'm doing it inside a transaction. You would normally never rebuild an index inside a transaction, but I'm doing it here because I want to simulate what happens when a rebuild is happening. So on the left-hand side, I've started a transaction here, rebuilding it with online equals off. Then over on the right-hand side, I'm going to run a query like we need to run out of SP Blitz Index. I need to go get all of the, damn you, oh, come on. That's not true. Hold on. What database am I in? I'm in a different database. Okay. Whew. All right. Man, that was just messed up. So let's go back over to master and let's go try it again. Okay, so this is the behavior I was trying to reproduce. Surly Dev is all over the place. Look at you. You're a good moderator. Oh, dang. So this is the bug that I was trying to reproduce. So over here, I should be able to select this when no lock is going on, but I can't. The whole point of no lock and the whole point of read uncommitted is ignore any locks. I thought Brent was mimicking my wife. I don't even want to know how what I was doing when I was mimicking your wife. So this should be able to keep going. This shouldn't be paused. So what's happening? Why can't hater? That's a really cool spelling. That's actually really cool. Yeah, I'm with you. And the cool thing, I can on the Restream side, Surly, on the Restream side, Restream chat gives me a nice little user interface. Oh, here, I'll show it to you. So in Restream chat, so this is the client that I see over on my desktop on the Mac. So if I wanted to say block like Surly Dev or whichever one I wanted on there, I can hit block user. And then it doesn't really block them on like YouTube or whatever, but it just blocks them from showing up in the pop-ups, which is kind of nice. I kind of, why would you do that? True story. I accidentally did block you once when I was trying to figure out what I was doing in Restream. I don't know if you remember. But and then I'm like, oh my God, I got to make sure this isn't permanent. Okay, so let's see here. SP who is active, get locks equals 1. Why isn't that this isn't working? And here you can see that here's my begin tran that did the alter index. And then here's my select with a no lock that's supposedly waiting on a schema stability lock. That isn't supposed to be happening. I wouldn't blame you there. I hear from like professional Twitch streamers. I'm trying to educate myself on how the whole thing works. I hear that you're supposed to have like your own separate test channel. This is where you go and experiment with things like transitions and moderation stuff and all that. I haven't quite gotten to that layer yet. I'm not even to the amateur status on Twitch. So this is the thing I got to go fix. Now, for the longest time, I was like, oh my God, in order to figure out how to do this, I'm going to have to go detect if there are any open locks on tables, and I got better things to do with my life. So that's where the set lock timeout thing comes in. That's what I was doing too, and I wanted to stop doing that just because I have enough followers that I'm like, oh my God, whenever I go live, people are like, hey, what does this do? So set lock timeout SQL Server. So here's the function that I'm going to go use. So set lock timeout, the number of milliseconds that will pass before SQL Server returns a locking error. Now, and by default, it's forever, which is kind of the problem. So let's try this again, and this time let's say set lock timeout, set lock timeout equals 1,000. So let's just go see if what happens if I go run it with a 1 second lock timeout, and big money, no whammies. Yes, yes. Oh, yes, that's fantastic. That is the easiest bug fix ever. Not ever, because, okay, so I still have a little bit of work to do. So what work do I have? So this now solves my problem. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to grab a lock for 1 second. If I can't get it, I'm going to gracefully bail out. Okay, so now there are a few things that are involved with this. So now that I know what the fix is going to be, now I need to go figure out where to put it. Insert joke here. I need to figure out where to put it in SP Blitz Index. Then I need to handle the error when it happens, because whenever that happens, whenever I throw a lock timeout error, I want to see what's going to happen if it just errors out SP Blitz Index. In a perfect world, I just error out with like a try catch, and I gracefully bail out and say, sorry, due to this bug, we weren't able to get a lock, run this again at a different time. The way that this bug originally popped up and displayed itself was, I have a client doing fraud 13. That's kind of terrifying. But welcome to the club, fraud. I appreciate it. Who doesn't like fraud around? So the place this originally popped up was, I have a client doing like 24/7 gaming kind of thing, and they were running SP Blitz Index every 15 minutes. I know, look, I don't ask questions. But they were logging all of their indexes every 15 minutes to go see things like index utilization, to see, long story. And then whenever it would run on a scheduled basis from time to time, it would grab a lock and just hold there, even though it was trying to do no lock, because that damn DMV doesn't honor no lock requests. Okay, so what do I need to, so then if I just bail out all of a sudden with an error, I don't want the client to see that. I would much rather have the SP Blitz Index gracefully absorb that and just not return results. All right, so what do I need to do? Number one, I need to figure out where to put it. Number two, I need to handle the error. And then number three, I'm going to need to check this in and like add some documentation. I know, Werner says, you dreamed this up. I wish I had those Jedi skills. Well, remember though, I think I filed this bug. Let me go see how long ago I filed it, because it was a long time ago. October of 2019. If a Jedi was really doing this, a Jedi would have known the answer. But I'm like 7, 8, 9 months behind. But all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Surly Dev says you should use a green screen effect on the scene and you put your art on the wall next to you. Okay, get a load of this. I have that, and I never use that scene. So I have another scene. So I have a scene here where I can put my art behind me, my regular office wall behind me, and I'll show it to you just because it's kind of funny. Let me go grab my camera off of the live scene, and then I'll go put it over there. So just chatting camera one. I'm going to paste myself in here, move myself over here, make myself a little bit smaller so that I fit inside my office, and now make myself taller so that works. So this is my office. This is the actual wall behind me in my office. So I did the green screen thing with that. Surly Dev. Yes, David. Yeah, I got back to my early starts I say early starts this morning. It's still not super early. Okay, so now what am I going to do with this? So now let's go back in here to the bug that I need to go fix. So over here, Surly Dev says at least it's dark outside. That's a good way of saying it. So now I got to go find where this is in SP Blitz Index, because I bet I did not put anything about the line. Nope, I sure didn't have to put the line in here in the code where it is. So let's go pop open GitHub Desktop and make sure I've got the latest version of this code. Then I'm going to go make a branch in GitHub for this. I'm going to go see... Right, Surly Dev, and I learned that from C# Fritz, Jeff Fritz, who has a permanent picture of his real office wall behind him, and then that way if he like moves houses or moves setups, then it still looks like he's in the same original studio. I was like, that's pretty smart. Let's see here. I need to start a new branch. Let's say 2176 SP Blitz Index skip blocking and new branch. Now I will go open up SP Blitz Index and go see what we can do in order to track down that code. That's true too. And my house is super minimal, so I don't have to worry too much about cleaning up ever, just like hiding bodies, but that's about it. SP Blitz Index. So the DMV that I'm looking to go fix, whoops, or the place where we're doing it is, dang it, I closed that window. It is sys identity columns. So I need to find where in SP Blitz Index we're working on identity columns. So here we have a left join. Okay, that's perfect. Let's see how many other places there are. There's only one. Oh, yes. Oh, sweet. That's fantastic. Make sure it was 1092. Perfect. All right, so I only need to fix it in one place. How hard can it be? So now the way that I need to put that lock timeout in is it has to go at the beginning. It's even in Dynamic SQL. Yes, I was worried that it might not be in Dynamic SQL. So here's where we've already tried to put isolation level read uncommitted, but that hasn't been enough. That's where the bug in SQL Server comes in. Set lock timeout equals 1,000. Oh, it's not equals. It's just plain old 1,000. Then there we go. So this might be all I need in order to run. When I'm putting in stuff like this, I like to put a link to the GitHub issue to fix locking bug in sys identity columns. See GitHub issue number, what was it, 2176? 2176. Now, the other thing that I should just do is whenever I do Dynamic SQL, I usually try to put the comment of where it's from, SP Blitz Index, just in case somebody's trying to track down the problem in the plan cache as to what's running this. So there we go. All right, so we've got it in the Dynamic SQL. The next thing that's going to happen when I run this, though, is let's go down and see where we run it. So here is the exec. So what's going to happen when we fail to get a locking timeout? I'm going to need some kind of try-catch in here, or else it's going to bail out and throw an error. To see what I mean, I'm going to go put SP Blitz Index into production. But before I do it, I'd rather show you the bug. Before I want to show you SP Blitz Index actually hitting this bug. So I haven't put this stored procedure into production yet. And I still have my blocking running over in the background. So let's go with my blocking running in the background. Let's say SP Blitz Index. If the bug exhibits itself the way that I remember it does, SP Blitz Index just sits here and hangs, which looks like that's what it's doing. Let's go see if SP who is active shows. Yep, sweet. So right now we're showing blocking inside of SP Blitz Index, so that's cool. So let's close that. Then, you know what else? Because I'm doing this in master, I'm just worried that I'm going to end up hitting other system tasks. So let's go do it over in Stack Overflow instead. Just go create the table over there and then begin the tran. Now let's run SP Blitz Index again in Stack Overflow just to see that we have the bug. We have the bug. It's being blocked, so that's cool. We'll stop it. Now let's put in the brand new version of SP Blitz Index. Now the new version, and to put it in, I'm just going to hit execute over here on these changes that I made. Now in the new version, when I time out after 1 second, I'm going to get an error. See, and sure enough I do. Query completed with errors, which is kind of a, and you can see here's the new code that I put in, so that works. If I was a really crappy developer, I would say, you know what, we're done here. Ship it, let's go, get out of here. But because I want to be just a little bit classier than this, also because it was a client of mine that found the bug, I want to do a little bit better than that. So we're going to have to do a try catch. I don't do error handling. I don't do error handling. I don't do error handling. I'm a performance tuner. And in my job doing performance tuning, I hardly ever have to write new code, especially new T-SQL code. So you're going to see me kind of fumble around in the dark. Bunga says, just make the server crash. So, and the way you do that is you do shut down with no wait. If I remember right, is the syntax, and that just boom. If you ever want to just shut a SQL server down, there that is. So I'm gonna I'm gonna have to do a try catch, which I freaking never do. I never ever do a try catch. If I'm lucky, there's going to be an example of a try catch inside here. I don't know that there really is though. Let's go find out. So let's do catch, and we'll just see if we catch anything. Oh my God, there is one. There is a try catch. Oh, that's phenomenal. Oh, it's even got a very nice, oh, look at that. It's even got a very nice raise roar in there. Oh, this is lovely. I might just be able to rip off that whole thing. Where's the try? So let's well, we'll see if we can do try. So there's the end. Begin try, if table name is not end try, catch, failure. So we may have a few of them in here. I will like the other one better than that. Let's go try. There we go. I like that. Oh, no, that's not the one I want. No, MME says, is there a reason you don't use try catch? That's a great question. It's only because I don't write new queries. In my role as a performance tuner, I tend to fix other people's stuff rather than write new stuff from scratch. Nobody hires me to go build them a new stored procedure from scratch because I'm really expensive, but because it doesn't make cost-effective sense to have a Microsoft certified master come in and write you new queries from scratch. Do I miss it? Absolutely, yeah, but I just don't do it these days. So catch, this is the one I want to keep. Okay, so here, let's go there, and copy. Now let's go back up to where I had my code. So now, where do I put the try at? The only place I'm going to put the try at is the insert. So I'm going to say, and I don't even know the syntax for try and begin end. Try, begin. So you notice it's got a fuzzy underline. Let's just go to hit books online and say SQL Server try catch, just to find a really super simple example. Begin try, end try. Okay. Begin try. Why can they never do the syntax exactly the same? Then end try, begin catch, and let's put, what do you mean? Why is that? Oh, it's highlighted because I have a control find up there. I'm like, how can that be that hard? Okay, so let's copy that up, and then let's move you. Whoops, didn't mean to go quite that down. And there we go. So the failure that I'm going to say is, we're just going to say failure populating temp tables actually works okay. That's not so bad. I should probably put a distinct one inside here. Here we go. Let's put this. Failure inserting, copy, paste, and make it a sentence just because that's kind of cool. So there's our raise roar. I don't need to print the dynamic SQL because we already have, well, no, we could. Yeah, sure, why not? Select message. Let's see if that works. Database failed to process. I don't know if database name is set at this point. Let's give it a shot. All right, so now, full disclaimer, I'm totally fumbling my way around in the dark here, but let's see if it works. Let's put this into production, hit execute, and then let's try this thing again. And big money, no whammies. I'm not really happy with that. Oh, well, okay, that's true, though. That's true, though. It is an error, and I did raise it. I guess you know what I want is instead of a raise roar. So the raise roar, so this works. This works okay. The problem is if somebody's running this in an agent job, it's going to fail. It's going to fail with an error. And I kind of want to be more graceful than that. So instead of raising an error level that's kind of high severity, what I might do, so they're just taking the error severity directly from. So I'm torn. What should I do here? If I leave the error severity as is, then it's going to be true. I don't really care about that, though. I'm going to say error severity. I think I only want I want to say it's 16. Let me go see what the highest SQL Server error severity. Let's go get a list of the severity levels. I don't want it to be ugly. Errors that can be corrected by the user. I like that a lot. Lee, right? This is part of the reason why I like live streaming too, is it so that y'all can see how other people do it. For me, that was one of the most valuable things of going through the Microsoft Certified Master Program, was that when I was going through it, I thought, oh, these people must know everything there is to know. And then watching them fumble around in the dark made me feel much better about my own skill level. Okay, so indicates deadlock errors. I don't need that. Do not use, oh, that's interesting. Syntax errors, general errors. Let's go with 16. General errors that can be corrected by the user. So let's try 16. Error severity equals 16. Do I want to raise roar? Let's try that. And execute. And let's see if... Stack Overflow database. Okay. So this did... do I want to do an error or do I just want to print it? I could just print it instead. That's what I'm going to do. Instead of raise roaring, I'm just going to print it. So let's say print... informational one and then return. Yeah. Oh, and informational is what, 9? Oh, okay. Doesn't raise system. Okay, let's try 9. I like that, Manuel. I like that a lot. Let's try 9 in here. 9. And this is, what severity level is that one? I think it was 0. All right, let's go with 0, because 0 was up inside here. Let's go 0 and execute. And execute. And query executed successfully. Woo! It's not successfully, but it's close. Idiots with microphones. I love that. Idiots with microphones. I used to always say that I'm just a guy with a blog. I'm just like, don't take me too seriously. I'm just a guy who happens to use WordPress. So it's not like I am some kind of super authority. People are like, what does Brent think? And I'm like, Brent thinks that you should start a blog, but that's about all that Brent thinks. Hi, Tamil. Good to see you here from YouTube. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Query executed successfully. Lock request or timeout period exceeded. It doesn't return any results. Now, as a side note, if you ran SP Blitz Index through an agent job and it just suddenly didn't return data, this is really all I would want to go do. I wouldn't want to go do like a wait for and then try it again. I could do a wait for and try it one more time just to see, but if they're rebuilding an index, I'm probably going to be screwed there either way. So I am going to give them just a little bit more information. If the I'm usually Uberzoned. I'm usually up around 2 or 3 a.m. It's just that I don't start streaming until like 4 or 5 a.m. So, and hi, Ahmed. All right, so part of me says I could give them a little bit more about why it failed to process, but because this is so rare, I'm not as worried about it. I could say in here, actually, I'll just stop with that. I don't want to get too far out. That's true. Not a cappuccino, but a bagel and an Americano. Yeah. Surly Dev, I'm never this. Surly Dev, I'm not sure you're ever this energetic either. Period. Full stop. Which is kind of interesting. By Sadhu. Sadhu, why didn't your name the same as Tamil? That's kind of weird how that works. To avoid SQL injection, Google for Breno's R SQL injection, and then I've got a post just on there. Thoroughly different. And Galambunga, you're exactly right. So you said Galambunga said, if you're going to throw that warning about more info about lock timeouts, shouldn't you just go and check to see what the error number is first? You're exactly right. That was the same thing that was going through my mind, and that's the same reason why I went, you know what, I'm not going to go to the length of checking this. One cop-out way to do it is I could throw an error that's super vague, and I could say something like, this is probably due to blocking, go to this URL to learn more, and I could send them to the GitHub issue. The thing I'm into, though, is I'm looking at the time. I'm half an hour into this. For those of you who haven't been through my classes, with my Mastering Index Tuning, Query Tuning, Server Tuning, etc. classes, I use a half-hour hourglass. I have this on my desk, and I keep this as a reminder of how much progress can I possibly make inside the span of, say, 30 minutes. And then every 30 minutes, I'll go reset it. But before I reset it, I want to stop and say, have I made enough progress that I can ship this thing? Have I got enough value created that I can just like close the bug and move on? Good enough, problem found. Because of course there are other things that I want to go do too. Fixing. Oh, I like that Jedi Mind Gorilla. That's kind of cool. David says, can you describe a situation where you would run SP Blitz Index through an agent job? So in that particular client situation, they wanted to see index utilization through different points of the day. They have different workloads that run at different times of the day, and they wanted to see which indexes were more effective at different times of the day. They couldn't measure the plan cache, and they also couldn't measure SP Blitz Index just once a day, because their workload actually drops tables and recreates them on the fly. So whenever you drop a table and then recreate it, you lose all of the index utilization data. So it's pretty wild. Serial 86, I'm going to hold off on that one just because it's kind of lengthy. Games for the win, as Brenno's are when you usually go to sleep. I usually go to sleep around 8 or 9 p.m., just to give you a rough idea there. All right, so now I've got this thing working. I've got the bug fixed. I'm now going to check it into SPBlitz or check it into GitHub. I'm going to update our release post, the post that will come out whenever we do the monthly releases next. So we just did the July release. The next one will be August. Let's go see how this works. So I've got my code done. I'm happy with the code. So I've saved it. I'm now going to close it. I'm going to go back over to GitHub, or I'm going to go over to the GitHub desktop, and let's minimize everything else just because the coloring on this is just a little bit weird to see. So one of the things I like with GitHub desktop is it gives you this little file diff right inside here, so you can see a differential of what was changed in the code that you just did. I love looking at this because it lets me just make sure that I didn't accidentally inject something where I wasn't supposed to. Like I didn't accidentally have a typo in there. Every now and then I'll hit like Alt-Fs or Control-S or something trying to save my work, and I'll accidentally inject an S somewhere where I wasn't paying attention. This looks like exactly the code that I wanted to do. So we're going to say 2176 SP Blitz Index. Skip blocking, sets a 1 second lock timeout when populating temp tables, closes 2176. By putting an error or an issue number inside there, that means that GitHub will automatically link my check-in to the issue, so people who are looking at the issue can then go see the check-in in my code. So I can say commit, publish the branch. I'm going to go do a pull request, which tells the maintainer of the open source project, in this case me, tells them that, hey, I'd like you to go take my code and go put it into the development branch of the project. So the person who's assigned is me. The labels, I use labels for like bug and the piece of code that it is. So in my case, it's SP Blitz Index. Then the milestone on this one is going to be the August release. I've already created an August release in GitHub for this. And then other people who are looking at the code can also see the changes that I made inside the web browser. Damn, I just love this. This is just phenomenal. So then let's go create the pull request. And so then it's checking for my ability to merge. I can merge this into the main project itself. Confirm. And then I can go up here. I like going into the issue. So I'm going to go into 2176. This is the issue here that we just went through and fixed. Now I got to go set up the blog post for the, I agree, GitHub just makes this so much more intuitive, just working through the web browser. It's pretty doggone cool. Now I have to go into my blog. Because in my blog, every month I publish a post about what's new in this version. I haven't got one set up yet for the August release, so we're going to go through and set it up. So I'm going to go into WordPress. I'm going to go into posts. Then I'm going into, so here's our post for the updated first responder kit for last month, but it's this month. So here's the post that I'm going to go copy paste from. I'm going to go add a new post, and I'm going to copy all the, copy and paste. We're going to say August 2020. We're going to set the release date on this for the end of August, and because who knows when I'm actually going to release this, depending on whatever time that I've got. Over on the far right, I'm going to choose like a category for the first responder kit updates. Then I'm going to copy the entire contents of last month's blog post out into the new one, and then go through and reset it from scratch. So this, I'm not going to put anything up there in the put that up there. So what happened in the consultant toolkit? Nothing yet this month. SP Blitz, nothing yet this month. SP Blitz cache, nothing yet. Clear out all of these to reset for the new month. And here we go. Fix. Well, let's go delete these other ones while we're in here. And I actually don't expect us to have any fixes on those two stored procedures, so let's get rid of those. Probably same thing in, oh, actually we do have one coming already for SP Blitzlock, which is kind of interesting. Let's get rid of those guys, and there he goes. Okay, so SP Blitz Index, fix. SP Blitz Index was, or is, when SQL Server has a bug that ignores isolation level hints on sys identity columns, so we would get blocked by offline index rebuilds. To fix it, we now have a 1-second lock timeout, and SP Blitz Index will simply return if there is blocking. Number 2176, so let's go put in copy the link, and then come in over here. Here's the link to the issue. Paste. Now, because I am a petty jerk, I am also going to put a link in here with the bug to Microsoft to remind them that they still haven't fixed it. SQL Server has a bug. There we go. Note, no response from Microsoft on that one, despite being open for several months. And hello, blue badges. That is why people get so pissed off about feedback.azure.com being like yelling into the void. This is a bug in your product, and you're not even taking the time to read the bugs that get reported. Hello. Anywho, we could get blocked. We would get blocked. We get blocked. All right, there we go. Jedi Mind Gorilla. And this is why I can't, this is why they don't respond to my bug requests, because I don't have any patience for that kind of thing. Okay, so there we go. So now I have that. I can save the draft, and we have this fixed. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. Um, Lee asked the question, what do you know? You have a post about your favorite WordPress plugins. I would love to see more streams about the blogging side of thing. Let me know about what questions you have about it, and then I can answer those. But I like streaming about the blogging process. I'm not sure. I have actually streamed blogging several times recently too. If that may be. So you say this parenthesis ignores me is part of the link. Let me just make sure that I didn't put the parenthesis in the link there. Nope. Okay, so that's good. That's good there. All right. So I think we're good there. I'm happy with that bug fix. We're like 40 minutes into the stream. What I'll do is I'll stop here for a bio break. Kevin DBA, that's a good question. So you can, for change requests for the consultant toolkit, you can email me at help@brenozar.com. I'll be honest though, I actually don't use Azure at all, like not even a little bit. That's not true. Every now and then I'll use it for like something in Azure SQL DB for testing, but I've never used it at all. So it's kind of tricky. It would be a pretty high cost for us to go and implement it. And because hardly anybody's requested stuff like that, we never have. What I'm guessing that you want is upload to Azure Blob Storage. And yeah, he says, Roger, yeah, I would shoot us an email at help@brenozar.com. I'll see how hard it would be for Richie to implement. The other thing that we've thought about doing is emailing, but I know a lot of people's emails, like having an email thing built into it. But I know that a lot of people's email boxes block things like zips with SQL files, personally identifiable information, stuff like that. So it's a little tricky. All right, so I'm done with the first bug for the day. We'll go take a bio break. We'll take a 5-minute bio break, and when we come back, we'll look at another bug. There's another bug inside there that I need to go look at. It's just adding instructions to the README, and I'll probably knock that out just since it's easy, and because we're getting so low in terms of bug reports inside there. So 5-minute bio break, and we will be back. See y'all shortly. Let's see here. So, welcome back, folks. It's the dawn is starting to rise here in beautiful San Diego. Um, Lee says, let's see here. Yes, I've seen the streams. I was just putting my interest to see more stuff like that. Enjoy that side. Yeah, I'm. The other things that I'll eventually end up being streaming about too is the business side of stuff. So, for example, Richie and I are working on the next round of improvements for SQL Constant Care. And we'd been talking over the last week or so about the next big features that I want to push out for the like November timeframe, for around Black Friday timeframe. And it's going to definitely involve things that are interesting to y'all. And I don't want to elaborate on that yet. I want to get a little further down the design path before we start talking about it publicly. But it's something that I think that y'all are going to be very interested in. The kind of people who go to see things on Twitch will be the kind of people who find SQL Constant Care very interesting going forward. Which reminds me of something else that I found interesting, and I don't know if y'all are into streaming that much. So I tend to not watch streaming for games. I don't do it very often. I'm mesmerized by it, like I love the idea because I suck at gaming. I don't have that much time anymore to get good at streams. But games are amazing. I mean, like, game quality is so good these days. It's like movies. There are games out that are genuinely entertaining to watch, especially when someone who's good at playing them is playing, as opposed to, schmoes like me. So I get like people playing the truck games or first-person shooters I'm not quite as interested in unless I know the person personally who's playing it. But like the truck driving kind of games, I find those really interesting to watch. I don't do any like first-person shooters. I don't play first-person shooters. It's nothing against them. It's just that I don't have good. Exactly, Jedi Mind Gorilla. I'm with you. I suck too bad to be playing them on a regular basis. I loved the Hitmen series, for example. I thought that was really fun. But anytime I would go and play anything like that in groups, I would get smoked. I mean, I would just get absolutely murdered. But I find the psychology and the gaming around it really. Sniper Demon says playing, and of course with a name like Sniper Demon, it makes sense why you wouldn't get into the truck and train and farming games. Old arcade games. Oh, that makes sense because I would watch somebody playing Frogger or whatever. Wow. People that got too good, you got too used to doing it. That would totally be me. But you know what I found really interesting is the business itself, like Dr. Disrespect. So I've never watched Dr. Disrespect. I don't know any like who the top streamers are. I know some of the streamers in the C# community, but I never watched like first person shooter streamers. But when Dr. Disrespect got banned, and it was the same thing with like Ninja. When Ninja moved to Mixer, I was like, I didn't know who Ninja was, but I'm like, okay, so it's a big deal that he's getting paid like $30 million to move to Mixer. I want to know more about Ninja because I'm just curious. When Dr. Disrespect got banned, I was like, okay, so A, why did he get banned? B, what his streams look like? And so now I'm just totally interested in like, why is it that he got permanently banned? What happened that made it happen? So I find myself reading news stories about that, trying to figure out what's going on. All right, let's figure out what's going on next with the first responder kit. The next improvement that we want to go make. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, kind of any kind of drama that takes me away from the real world drama that's happening right now. I'm all about escapism right now. The less that I have to deal with real world drama, the more I am about that. Okay, so let's go see what's going on back over in the first responder kit, talking about escapism. So let's see here. Let's go close a couple of windows here just to get those out of the way. That's true. That's absolutely true. Because it worked for me. Like I went in and viewed Twitch on streams because of the drama. I don't know Dr. Disrespect. And then I watched a couple like short times of his streaming and I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting. It was the same thing with Ninja. I was like, oh wow, he's really good at this. So let's go over and look at the issues. So Surly Dove, Dr. Disrespect was Not yet. So this is going to be terrible, but I don't even know enough about games to know which ones he streamed. Like I wouldn't recognize them on sight, but they were first person shooters and he was really good. I mean, like 10 people were coming at him and he managed to kill 10 different people. So, and they were not non-player characters. I mean, these were actual human beings and they weren't noobs and he was doing a pretty good job. The Target did get a bath yesterday. The Target got a bath yesterday, and I will show y'all, just because we're going off topic, Rotiform VCE. So these are the wheels that I just ordered 2 weeks ago for Helmet. So I ordered him a set of black Rotiform VCEs. So the ones in this picture have writing on them because you can get them customized. They're all custom built from scratch. They're carved out of these in particular are carved out of one block of aluminum, and they have to carve them for you for your car, for your bolt pattern, your size, and all that. So you can get anything you want on them. And I'm like, I don't really think I have song lyrics that I would want to put on the front of my wheels. But that's what his next birthday present is because he's coming up on 1 year old. So woo! I'm excited about that. The crappy thing is, because they're custom, they take 8 weeks. So in like 6 more weeks, I'm going to have the pictures and whatnot of him on those, which will be a lot of fun. Okay, so now we're down to 8 issues left. Oh, that's so good. Down in the single digits. This one's easy, so I'm going to go knock this out. I'll let y'all, I'll zoom in so you can read it a little better. So I'll move this around so that you can see it while I take a sip of my tasty beverage. I'm a sequel turner on the rims. I used to have, I think I might still have them. Okay, now I have to go into the closet and check. I can't remember if I kept them. I've had, for all my cars up until Helmet, I've had SQL Server license plates. Oh, I'm not going to be able to find them quickly inside the closet. I thought they might be right out on the top, but for all my cars, I've always had SQL Server license plates. So I've had MS-SQL, I've had SQL, just plain SQL, I've had not null and a few others. But this is the first car where I didn't, I can show you my ones from the RS6. RS6, site, Ozar, me. I think I have, so this was the last car that I had before the Porsche, and I don't think I have a picture of the plates on there. I probably do on my Instagram. Audi site, Instagram.com, Brento. Nope. Okay, so much for that car. Maybe not. It probably doesn't have anything. Yeah, so much for that. That doesn't work. Okay, so here's the next thing that we're going to go and fix. I'll let you read this GitHub issue, and then we'll go and tackle this. It was a totally fair request. I get it. So let's assign myself the label. I'm going to call this an enhancement. We're going to have this in for the August release. So when it first came in, I got to confess, as an open source maintainer, I'll often get angry or disappointed. There's psychology involved with doing open source maintenance. You get angry or disappointed when people submit things and they don't put code in. They're like, I think you should do this. And I'm like, I think you should go get a job. So I have to sometimes stifle this. And I had that reaction when this came in. I had this reaction. I was like, what do you mean you don't know what to install? And then I was like, oh, let's look over at the README, and actually you can't tell what you should install. If I go look at the home page of the GitHub repository and I start scrolling down, so there's all kinds of things about how to get support, common scripts, but there's nothing in here about what you should install. And I was like, oh, yeah, he actually has a really good point here. So the way that I'm going to do it is this. I love so many things about GitHub, but one of the things that I love is that this repo homepage, and I'm going to go back to zooming to 100% just so that you can see more of it. This whole thing is built off of a markdown file. So you can edit this markdown file, and it's just a big long page. Maybe someday I'll have a nicer, cleaner display for it instead of, I wish GitHub let you choose what you put up at the top. I don't really want the code up at the top. I actually want the README up at the top. Um, right, exactly. And we're discussing who got banned from Twitch. So this whole file is just the README file. It's readme.md. So, Surly Dev, I think it was just me and my bad psychology. I think it was just, I think when I read it, because I always try to like have a drink and, of coffee usually, have a drink, and I'm like, it's fair. Everything in there was totally fair, and it's true. I shouldn't have had the reaction of getting all, that was my bad. So and I especially love how he said this. I'd write something, but I don't know the answers. And I'm like, I don't know how anybody could. Looking at that README, that's terrible README. I should totally have something about the installations scripts up at the top. So let's go fix it. So in order to fix this one, we're going to go switch back over to the dev branch. We'll fetch the origin so that we have the latest changes inside there. Let's go create a new branch to reflect this issue number, 2458. So we'll say branch 2458, add installation instructions, create a new branch, and then the file that's involved is the README file inside the GitHub repository. So let's go pop that open. So README, and I think I've got Typora on this VM. Yeah, okay. So Markdown, one of the things that I love about Markdown is it's kind of a what you see is what you get word editor. So you can go in and type in here really easily. I'm going to go down and say, so we've got how to get support. I'm going to say how to install the scripts. I don't know if that's a heading 2. So for headings in Markdown, you do like 2 or 3, however many heading hashtags you want inside there. Less means it's more of a heading, like just 1 is a heading 1, like the title of a document. So I'm going to say 2, how to install. Oh, no, looks like, see how small that is. Let's go with 1. How to install installation instructions. How to install the scripts. Oh, okay, so that's too many. I should have that as 2 then. So let's see, how do you get in? Okay, all right, Typora. This isn't the Markdown editor I usually use, so I'm going to fumble around a little on there. Usually I work on the Mac. How to install the scripts. The repo there are 3 installation scripts. Choose the one that most suits your needs. And I got to go get the file names on them because I don't remember them offhand. So it's install core blitz with no query store. So let's say .SQL. If you don't know which one to use this. This contains the most commonly used stored procedures. Open this script in SSMS or Azure Data Studio and use the database. Switch to the database where you want to install the stored procedures and click execute and run it. It will install the stored procs. Oh, can I zoom in with this? Nope. Can I zoom in here? Zoom in. Oh, it's different. Of course, it's got to be freaking different for every single. Let's move around in here so that you can see them a little better based on where I'm at. Zoom in. All right. This will install. Move it up here so you can see it. This will install the stored procedures. If they don't already exist, or update them to the current version if they do exist. Note that you can use any database that you want. We recommend using the master database, but if you want to use another one, that's totally fine. They're all supported in any database, but just be aware that you can run into problems if you have these procs in multiple databases. It's supposed to be procs. Procs in multiple databases. You may not keep all of them up to date, and you may hit an issue where you're running an older version. Should be when you're running an older version. Now, because that's not specific to the specific script, I'm just going to throw that in. How the hell do you get it out to unindent? I'll just copy it out, come down here, paste it, and then you're not the boss of me. Okay, so I'm going to bold that one just because I had more text in there than I thought I was going to. Format, emphasis. Nope, that's not what I want. Format, strong. Okay, there we go. So that's the first one. Goodness. Oh, I even have a mute button now. Let's see if it works. Added that this morning because I do end up coughing. Don't worry, I don't have corona. I mean, knock on wood. I have asthma, and so that hits me from time to time where I'll start coughing out of nowhere. I know, right? Okay, so that's the install, the common one. And now let's go the with one. We'll go install core blitz with query store.sql for SQL Server 2016 and newer only. Add same as above, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was one. Waiter, I'll have asthma, please. Same as above, but adds SP Blitz query store. And then what's the other one called? Install all scripts. Okay. This is capitalized, so let's be good and say that. Install all scripts. That's true. Install all scripts.sql. Okay, so then as you might, I'm gonna be funny in here. You're very hi, good to see you, Hani Helmi. You're very clever and also attractive. So as you may guess, this installs all of the scripts, including SP database restore and SP all night log, both of which require or depend on Ola Hollengren's. I'm not going to go to that. Well, yeah, I am. Both of which depend on Ola Hollengren's maintenance solution. Yeah, when running this script, you'll get warnings if you don't already have his scripts installed. To get those, go to ola.hollengren.com. All right, let's say instead of recommend, we recommend installing these scripts or these stored procedures in the master database. Okay, perfect. All right, there we go. I like that. Any changes that y'all think we should make there on that installation piece before we ship it and call it a day? See, looks good enough. Oh, I should see. I've even added like question music to give you all time to respond. Oh. Any video clips for SP All Night Log? No. Malik, that's a good question, but no, I don't. All right. So, I can't eat on screen. I was going to have a high chew. Those are really good, but I won't do that now. Okay, so let's save that and then let's check it in. So that's done. We will, I need to put something in the table of contents. So I need to put something in the table of contents, which is up here to go jump to it. But the problem is with a lot of Markdown editors, they're not super intuitive about how you go and install that or how you go and write that. Here, I'm going to copy paste out of here. So we'll say how to get support. We'll say paste. So this one's going to be how to, what do we call them? How to install. How to install. How to install. Oh, Galambunga says, is it sufficient to copy paste the SQL or should we clone the repo? If you want to make changes, go hit, there's a really good tutorial one. If you go to firstresponderkit.org, and damn it, I gotta change that. That changed. If you go to First Responder Code or firstresponderkit.org, hit the contributing guide, and there's a link to a good tutorial in here. Goodness gracious. There's a good tutorial in here that I'm pretty sure that I linked to about how to do pull requests. Yeah, here you go. So there you go. Oh, Mbuma says, I believe Typora has built-in table of contents. Here, I'll just go ahead because I'm almost in there. It's how to install the scripts. How to install the scripts. And then it's how to install the scripts. How to install the scripts. Let's see if that works. And I'm going to save that and get out of here. And then I'm also going to look just in Notepad. I'm going to look in Notepad or whatever the Windows text editor is. Notepad, just to see. That's install all scripts. That's the last damn thing I want to open. README, open with Notepad, and let's go see. Make sure that there's a header in there. There is how to install the scripts. Nope, good. That looks like it should work. I think. What? Well, so table, yeah, but is that actually going to work with GitHub though? I don't know that that's going to, if that's going to work and keep up to date. That makes me a little nervous. Okay, so let's go with this because we've got this up and running now. Let's go. So here's the changes that we made, and we'll say 2458, add installation instructions into the readme.md, closes 2458, and commit. Right, there's only one way to find out, but unfortunately, I don't want to bother doing that. All right, and create my pull request. And this is assign myself. This is an enhancement. And then this will be in the August release. Okay. Create the pull request. And that is closed. And we'll go back over there and leave a note to say thanks to Bert. Great idea. I've added that in the dev branch. Thanks. And close and comment. I'm not going to put that into the release notes just because I don't think that that's something that's really like significant that we would need to tell people about in the release notes. So now we are down to just 7 issues. Oh my goodness, that is fantastic. Now, some of these are hard. Some of these are going to be really challenging, so I'm not going to dig too deep into a lot of these today. I'm actually going to bail here. Some of these I've been working on slowly for a while. I know Eric Darling is working on, which one's he working on? That one. So this one's kind of interesting. Like if you do a search for, say, show me an SP Blitz cache sort by CPU, and you don't have any workload doing CPU on yours, that's probably a bad example. Spills. Spills is a greater example. Say that you choose sort by spills, and you don't actually have any queries doing any spills to tempdb. Then this thing will sort by spills descending, but even though they're all zeros, your top 10 will still have stuff in there. So we're looking at adding a filter inside here to only produce rows that have spills. So it'll be a little bit of work there. All right, I'm happy with that. We made good progress in terms of the morning. I just really wanted to knock out that bug that I had the dream about there. I'll switch back over here. I wanted to knock out the bug that I had the dream about. Jedi Mind Gorilla says, thank you. You're welcome. Good to see y'all again. Now, is it weird? I've been working on the white balance on my cameras, and I know that I have to go and fix, I still have work to do to go and fix it to get it exactly right. The reason why it was all haywire or things are looking weird this morning is because of my dark shirt. I had a dark shirt, and I was trying to get it so that the Isle of Man thing would show up correctly, and so I was playing around with the lightness settings before the webcast, and of course that was a little weird. So thanks, y'all, for hanging out with me this morning, and I will see you on... I'll be webcasting this entire week, actually, so I don't have any... Isle of Man, Isle of Mon. I don't have any client stuff this week. I'm just purely working on building new training material this week. So this week, I'm probably going to be streaming every single day. I'm going to probably aim for US times. Like I'm probably going to start closer to like 6 or 7 a.m. Pacific. And then I'll be working most likely on building the fundamentals of database administration training class. Handy says tomorrow same time. It depends on when I wake up and when I feel like it. So I wouldn't set your clock by me necessarily, but I'll probably aim for like 5 or 6 a.m. Pacific, somewhere in there. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Adios, everybody, and thanks for hanging out. Y'all make doing this kind of work fun. I really enjoy it. So adios, everybody.